The downhill slide for our marriage started when we'd been married 16 years. Our home was falling apart. Our family was falling apart. Everything that we had known was different. I didn't know which way to go, and I don't think Johnny knew which way to go either.
We had a business that was with Lynn's father, and it was called the L&K Cafeteria. And we sold it, and it was 1987. We sold that. I didn't know what I was going to do. I really had the opportunity, call it opportunity, went into the bail bonding business. And that was a struggle. I found myself in a place where I was dealing with an entirely different group of people. The business was at best tough. And so I began to live what I thought, as I look back on it now, a very duplistic life, very compartmentalized, where I'd go to work and be this person, and I'd come back to church and be this person.
I remember one night I fixed a special dinner by the pool, and I couldn't wait for him to get home, and all our kids were gone, so we were going to have date night. And he came in and just kind of blew me off like, no big deal. And a week later, it did change. He came home. He told me that he didn't love me anymore. He was leaving, and that there was somebody else.
As I look back on it, it's like mold. When you get mold in your house, it doesn't just happen. It happens when there is, in your crawl space, when there is no vapor barrier, and the moisture comes up through the house, and it's dark, and it's there, and the environment is there, and all of a sudden mold starts to begin to grow. And mold will not kill you today, but over time it will literally choke you to death. So to have that is the potential of what could happen. And it happens so quickly that you don't even realize it. I think if you had told me that you're going to go have an affair, years before that, I would have said, no, I will not. I've got the most wonderful wife in the world, and still had the most wonderful wife in the world. But when the environment was rife, along comes the seed that gets planted, and the opportunity takes place. And there it was.
I said, Lord, I cannot believe that you're allowing this to continue. I cannot believe. I said, Lord, he is being so unfaithful to me. And in that sweet place that Jesus talks to our heart sometimes, he said, Lynn, have you ever been unfaithful to me? And he spoke in my heart, and of the things that I had, times that I have mocked people. If you've mocked somebody else, then you've mocked me. If you've been unfaithful to someone else, you've been unfaithful to me. If you've been unkind to somebody else, you've been unkind to me. That was the place that Jesus brought me to my knees.
So she comes to my office. I'll never forget this. She sat down across the desk from me, and she said, you need to come home. So I thought I'd be kind of cool, you know. I said, okay, I'll come home. I'm gonna smoke what I want to. I'm gonna drink what I want to. I'm gonna sleep with who I want to, when I want to, where I want to. I'll come and go as I please at any time. And I said this in far more graphic terms. Brutally. She looked me in the eye. She didn't shed a tear. She was very matter of fact. She said, okay, just come home.
He threatened, even after he came home, about every other week that he was leaving again. So he had threatened he was gonna leave. And I said, if you'll just give the weekend, just let us get through the weekend. I promised to take Neil shopping for school clothes. I said, if we can just take Neil shopping. So we went over to one of the outlets, and we were in Wendy's and having lunch. And this couple came in, and they were such a pretty couple, and they sat down to have dinner, lunch, and I saw them pray, and I thought, I remember when we prayed. I remember as a family how we would sit and we would pray, and that was part of our lifestyle. Well, this couple left, and they went up next to the boot store, and went in the boot store, and that's where we were going. And we went in, and Johnny's phone went off, so he went outside to answer the phone. So the couple, I went up to the couple and I said, I saw you praying. And I said, I don't want to, I just need you to pray. I need you to pray. My husband's leaving me tomorrow. I just need you to pray. And they said, then let's pray. And right there in the boot place, whatever the name of that is, up in Dawsonville, we began to pray. And they prayed for Johnny, and they prayed for me, and they prayed for our marriage. They prayed for Neil.
I don't know whether she had read 1 Peter 3, verse 1. I don't know whether she had read it or not. But as I look back on this, she lived it. And that's I don't know what happened. I just don't know what happened that began to soften who I was, if it wasn't her behavior. I began to see how she behaved in every circumstance while I had come back home. And in every circumstance, it was the only thing she did was love me.
One night after church, he had told me that day, he says, I don't think I belong here. He said, I've been so wicked. I've been so mean. I've been so cruel. I've treated you so bad. I've denied the Lord so much. I've done so many things that I can't even believe Jesus could forgive me for, and that you could forgive me for. Lynn, I don't belong here. And my heart was breaking. I was like, oh no, we're going to go back into that deep, dark place. So I said, well, let's just go to church tonight. I had my niece Haley with me, and I said, let's just go to church tonight. They were going to have an ice cream supper after church. And I was standing there, and he said, go get Haley, let's leave. And I said, okay. So I went to get Haley, and this guy walked up to me, and he said, you don't remember me, do you? And I said, no. I said, but you look so familiar. And he said, do you remember being at the boot place over in Dawsonville? And I said, yes. He said, do you remember praying with a couple? And I said, and it was like the Lord had revealed things to me, like scales were removed from my eyes. And he said, that was my wife and me. And that's two of our dearest friends, Steve and Kathy Kirsch. And they, along with the Sunday school class, had been praying for Johnny for over 3 months. Not even an inkling in the world that we would ever come to church there. Johnny had already gone to the car. I went running out and I said, are you ready for a miracle? I said, all that time that you thought Jesus didn't love you, that Jesus didn't care anything about you, all of that time you thought that he had no place for you. I said, that Sunday school class, those people that I accidentally met had been praying for you. Jesus didn't give up on you. I didn't give up on you. And those strangers didn't give up on you.
Jesus said we are to love our wives. Jesus said we're to love our neighbors. That's easy. Jesus said to love our brothers, to love each other. And I can reconcile that all day long, because I feel that love. I feel the love for Lynn. I feel the love for my children. I feel the love for my family. But how do you love your enemy? I never could reconcile that, because I don't feel like loving my enemy. Sometimes I don't even feel like loving my neighbor, whoever that may be. But he said love. So in reconciling that, when I look back at Lynn, and when the reality of who Jesus is that she loved, I saw it in her, she loved me when I didn't deserve to be loved. That kind of love changed me forever. Forever.